Hello, friends. I'm here to speak with you on a very interesting topic. What makes a successful professional? Is it only about technical skills? So, if you go back to your childhood days and your school days and your education days, one could realize that the entire education system prepares us more for our technical skills rather than any other type of skill or competency. For example, if you want to become a good Java developer, right? So, I mean, you're taught how to code, you're taught how to do certain frameworks, certain APIs, and so on. Let's say you want to become a successful marketer. You study about brand management, you study about performance marketing, consumer behavior, and so on and so forth. So, these are technical skills that you acquire to become a good professional. Now, does that guarantee success? In my career of more than 25 years, in HR, in human resources, where I see sort of people every day in different jobs and different roles and their careers, how they have progressed in their career. What I've seen is that, excellent technical skills does not guarantee professional success. And you must have also seen this in your own life. Somebody who's highly qualified, somebody who's been excellent at academics, but does not rise to do a lot in their corporate career. They maybe stagnate, they do not go beyond a point, and somewhere, they sort of lose out. Whereas we have all heard stories of, a cousin or a friend or relative who was just about all right so far as academic success was concerned, but they rose and they did very well in their corporate careers and they went on to become leaders or managers, etc., etc. Now, why does this happen and how does this happen? So herein lies the key to what I want to talk about, and that what besides technical skills, what are some of the things which are needed for us to do well in a job and as we go along in our career. Now, there is a book by a very famous coach, executive coach, called Marshall Goldsmith, and the book is "What Got You Here Will Not Get You There." What it essentially means that when you begin your career, you're always told to hone your technical skills, and the only thing is that I need to work hard. I need to really stretch myself. I need to sort of achieve my goals, and that is how I will keep doing well. But what happens is that beyond a point, there are different skills which are required for you to do better. I would like to take a minute to talk about our leadership principles at InfoEdge. As you know, I represent a company called InfoEdge and I head human resources for them. InfoEdge is the parent company for companies for brands like Naukri.com, 99acres.com, Jeevansathi.com, and Shiksha.com. And there are many other brands associated with us, like some of the investments we have made, which have become big, are companies like Zomato and Policy Bazaar. So, we are a public company, and we've done extremely well, highly profitable. And basically, what we said is that, let's go ahead and define what will it take for somebody to succeed at InfoEdge, and what is it that people need to do in order to grow, right? And we defined 7 leadership principles that will, if you sort of practice them and if you sort of display those behaviors, you are bound to do well at your career in InfoEdge. And these are I would like to believe these are something not very unique to InfoEdge. In some form or the other, these are the principles which are needed for people to do well in most organizations. Now, what are these 11 leadership principles? Let me take you through them one by one. First and foremost, it is about collaboration. Uh, do I collaborate as a professional? Do I sort of build trust across the table? Can people take me up at face value? And do I build great relationships at work? That is what I mean when I say collaborates for success. That does not mean that uh, that you get conflict averse or you just agree to what others are saying. What collaborates for success means that you speak up for what is right, yet when a decision gets made, you commit to that decision. So number one, collaborates for success. The second, takes full ownership. So what happens is that when you are in a work situation, not all resources will be available to you. Sometimes people will be short, sometimes infrastructure will not be to your perfect liking, and so on and so forth. So what takes ownership means is that you hold self and others accountable, and you go beyond the brief to deliver what is expected out of you. Now, how do you make things happen despite the constraints? That's what ownership is about. So number two, takes ownership. Now, what else? Communicates authentically. What we mean when we say communicates authentically, it's not just about plain English skills that one speaks very smoothly. It is about listening, because listening is a very important aspect of communication. Besides listening respectfully, it's also about not holding information but disseminating information transparently and keeping everybody informed about what's happening on the ground, and and basically articulates ideas and strategies and goals well. So that is what communicates authentically means. So number three, communicates authentically. Number four is a great people leader. Now, what do we mean when we say is a great people leader? There are many people who are not in people leadership roles and they don't have anybody reporting to them. What we mean by a great people leader is somebody who hires and retains great people, even better people than who they are. They build high-performing team. They empower everyone, and they differentiate and they take bold bets on great talent. That's what a great people leader is. And even if you're not in a leadership role, in a people leadership role, you can practice these competencies to display that you are a great people leader, and you will use these competencies when you sort of get a team to handle. So that's number four, is a great people leader. Number five is thinks and plans ahead. So what happens is that as you start getting into more larger and complex roles, it's not about just action being taken in the immediate now. A lot of planning and analysis is needed for us to take the right actions, and therefore thinks and planning ahead is about connecting with the outside world to understand what's happening outside and take balanced decisions from a short-term as well as a long-time perspective. So number five, thinks and plans ahead. Now, what are the other competencies or other leadership principles which are important? Number six, prioritizes what matters. There's always lots to do. There's always lots to do. The environment is changing so fast. There are so many things that one can do. Now, a person who prioritizes what matters understands that resources are limited, and therefore he or she takes calculated bets on what should be prioritized for maximum impact. So number 6 prioritizes for what matters. Then comes curiosity. Are you curious about new possibilities? Are you continuously learning and upgrading yourself, and you are building new skills and capabilities, and you've not gotten complacent about your skills and competencies? It's a very, very dynamic world right now. Things are changing on a daily basis. So being curious, looking at new things, building new skills, and upgrading your capabilities about being is curious. So that's number 7. Next comes deep dives. It's very important to get misguided by superficial information, and therefore, you end up taking the wrong decisions. Now, it's important to actually, look at the problem from all angles, understands the nitty-gritty and details about what's actually happening, looks at various kinds of data, is hands-on, and is data-driven, not just going by gut, actually looking at data to understand what will work and what will not work is what deep diving is about. So, number 8, deep dives. Next is innovative. Now, what is being innovative? And innovative is a word which is often used these days. But what does one mean when we are talking about being innovative? What we mean is that, thinking outside of the box, exploring unconventional ways to solve problems, is not constrained and strives to be boundaryless when it comes to thinking and actions, and just loves change and even accelerates it. That is what being innovative is all about. So that's number 9 is innovative. Then it's a very interesting one, which is takes ownership. Sorry, I think I already spoke about takes ownership. The next one is customer focused. See, the entire whatever business you look at is irrelevant if one doesn't know if one doesn't keep the customer at its center. So essentially, when we're talking about is customer focused, it is about understanding the customer very deeply, keeping customer problems at the center of the product design, and providing customer delight with stellar customer service. So customer focused is number 10. And last but not the least, has bias for action. As they say, too much analysis leads to paralysis. So bias for action is about taking initiative, putting ideas into action, keeping relentless focus on delivery, and pushing self out of comfort zone. So that's bias for action. So that is 10 and 1, 11th. So friends, I hope I have not crowded your mind with many leadership principles. But if I was to just sort of simplify it, leadership principles are into 3 buckets. The first bucket is around people, stuff like collaboration, communication, people leadership is about how do you deal with other people. So that's one set of leadership competencies. The other set is more about your own self, I would say self competencies, and they are stuff like being deep diving, being analytical, prioritizing well, and so on and so forth. And the third category is stuff around innovation, curiosity, and stuff like that. So to simplify, these 11 principles in a way can be categorized into these 3 buckets. One being related to people, second being related to self, and third being related to innovation and curiosity. So, I hope you found this talk sort of useful, and I hope you will also check out the book that I mentioned, which is called "What Got You Here Will Not Get You There," and I hope by end of this talk you would have developed some appreciation for behavioral skills or leadership principles, which are not just about technical skills, they are more about you, your development, and your overall well roundedness for you to become a successful professional. Thank you.